What is up, everybody? Welcome back to From the Crypt, where Derek and I discuss all things horror and movies and music, mainly metal, but dude, we listen to everything, man. We talk about a bunch of shit on this channel. We talk about a lot of fun stuff, even some video games from time to time. And
I was gonna say, yeah, I want to talk about a little bit of video games.
yeah, absolutely. We do talk about some video games, not nearly as often as we do the music and movies and shit, but I think we've both kind of agreed, even though our initial plan was to leave games out of it, just because that adds a whole layer of extra stuff. But I think now we're just kind of realizing that that's just part of our lives, and we're going to talk about them.
Yes.
But that's not a bad thing, not a bad thing at all. And yeah, so what you been playing, Derek?
Um, so I gotta show this first. Okay.
Oh yeah,
So the other day, I was just chilling before I went to work, and IGN posted a thing that said, "Hey, the PlayStation Portal is back up on Walmart.com."
nice.
So I picked up a PlayStation Portal. I played some Helldivers with it yesterday before I went to work, and then I was having some issues with the internet and it just running consistently. So I switched to Doom Eternal, and yeah, it ran like a dream. So now I can play my PS5 while I'm on my lunch break,
Hell yeah.
and then literally the next day, I bought one of these. I also got a PlayStation camera because they were clearanced out and stuff, but I got me a DualSense Edge
Nice.
with the
And what's
back with the back.
what's the difference between the Edge and the?
Uh, it has so you can make like you can remap the entire controller, so you can completely flip all the button arrangement around. It's got the back paddles, which I got these small ones in right now. It's got trigger locks, which are freaking huge, because a normal press would be like, but then with the trigger lock on,
Huh.
so it
Interesting.
seems very minuscule, but with my Xbox Series 2 Elite controller, yeah, you notice it in shooters,
Yeah.
like big time.
I know
Um,
some games have like dynamic trigger thing, like it has a dynamic trigger action for when
yeah,
you
with
shoot
like
certain
yeah,
guns
like
and
pulling
stuff.
back a bowstring or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it'll gradually give you more tension and stuff.
I know
But
in Warzone it does too for certain guns. Like
yeah,
it'll like kind of bend a little and then snap closed and so forth. Like that, just shit like that.
yeah. And but I actually have not got to like play with this yet, so it's going to be making its debut tonight in Helldivers.
Nice.
So
Oh, that'll be
I'm
fun.
very yeah. Oh, dude, I'm very excited, very excited to try it out. And another just random thing about this that I want to highlight: this case that the controller comes in is freaking legit.
Oh damn.
I seriously feel like I could drop my house on this thing and the controller would still survive it. This case is 100%.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's I haven't been playing a lot, been spending a lot instead. So yeah.
I felt that. I I had a I had a little blip there when I was at Scott's and we were in peak season. I was just making a shit ton of money, but I worked so much overtime I didn't have any time to do anything with the stuff I was buying. So I was just like buying a bunch of shit that I couldn't do anything with because I had like maybe 3 hours a day to do anything, and most of that was just like mentally preparing myself for the next shift. so
Yeah.
um
Nope.
so
I
yeah,
know
I feel you.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's sick. Honestly, I haven't really been playing a whole lot either. I know my buddy Skylar should be on um, Return to Moria tonight, but it won't be till later, like way later. We usually play like
Yeah.
fucking wee hours in the night, but
Yeah, because we've got democracy to spread.
oh yeah, I'll definitely be playing Helldivers for a little while as well because we haven't played that a whole lot. I played for a couple hours the other day with Toby and our buddy Chris, He jumped on like at the very last minute. By the way, Chris, if you're watching this, we weren't like dipping out on you. That literally was our last game. Like we had said at the beginning of that match, hey, yeah, it's our last game. We're gonna jump off after this. And he joined halfway through the match, and then we just fucking we told him we were getting off or whatever. So I didn't want him to think that we were leaving him. It was just we had already planned to get off, and he just joined at a really weird time. But that was about the only Helldivers I played last week, I think. And yeah, just a bunch of Return to Moria. We're looking forward to the new update, actually. They're adding a fucking sandbox mode. They're adding a lot of quality of life changes and stuff, and a bunch of new items and decorations for your forts and shit, and it should be pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good
I was able to get some Helldivers in before work Friday and Saturday. Well, I was going to Saturday, but I'm serious. I woke up and I just felt like I was hit by a bus and had no energy. So then I ended up sleeping until like damn near noon before I had to go into work because I just felt drained. But Friday morning, yeah, I played. I think I was on for like 2 hours. And then that's when Toby was messaging the group. Is like, hey, yeah, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you fuckers. I swear to God. Like,
Yeah.
I was on. And then you guys popped on like right when I got off and had to go to work.
Dude, my sleep schedule's been so fucked up. That day that you said, hey, I'll be on tomorrow at 10 or whatever, like, I had fully planned to jump on with you at that time, but I went to sleep at normal time. I woke up like 30 minutes later. Couldn't just toss and turn, couldn't get to sleep. And then next thing I know, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I finally went back to sleep for like an hour or two. I woke back up, and then I crashed again, and then I slept until like noon 30, give or take. And yeah, that's the only reason I didn't get on with you then, because my sleep schedule's been all fucked. Matter of fact, it's been like that for the past several days, so I'm running on like barely any sleep. So if you see me yawning during this episode, guys, it's not because Derek's boring as fuck. I literally just have not had any sleep whatsoever. So I'm forcing myself to stay up to a late time, so my body's just like, all right, I give up. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I've been, as I previously, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm definitely sleeping, but I'm not like getting rest.
Yeah.
And so literally I don't feel like the batteries are recharging at all the last few days. So I get you completely on that.
Yeah. It's just how it's been, man. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, one more quick thing. Completely off topic, but it relates to last week's episode, the top 10 horror movies of the 2010s.
Check it out if you haven't.
Check it out if you haven't. Absolutely. But I got these years ago. I was going to bring them out during the episode when we talked about it, because we did talk about this movie a couple times. I'm not going to tell you what our placements for it was, because you just need to watch and find out yourself. But got these years ago, like back in 2021 or something like that. I just washed them today. They're still a little bit scuffed, but my Pennywise shoes, You'll Float Too on the side.
Nice.
It's got balloons. Of course, it's got
That's awesome.
Pennywise.
And yeah, that's the mini series.
And these are the Vans too. Like, these are branded shoes. They had a horror collection, and You'll Float Too, Vans. And then this one's got Losers Club written all over it.
Yeah.
So
100%. That's mini series just from the font for it.
Yep. And it's got Tim Curry's Pennywise in there.
Yeah.
But they had all the big ones. They had some Freddy Krueger high tops that were pretty cool. They were like red and brown stripes and stuff, like his shirt. And then
green.
Is it green?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It is green.
I know I'm right.
I know. I don't know why I said brown. They had like, I think one of them had like claw marks and shit on the side, and they had they had one of all the big ones, of course, but had to go with the Pennywise ones because they were just too damn cool to pass up. But
yeah, no, those are freaking sweet.
Hell yeah. Anyway, Derek, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're keeping it going. Our top 10 albums of the year 2004. Now, if you haven't seen any of the other videos that we have made, we have done 2000 through 2003. You should check those out.
Do it.
They're awesome. And diving back through this music is amazing because
Oh,
it's so much better than the stuff we have today. And I don't care if I sound old for saying that.
Fucking
But
old head.
yeah, I'm old. I'm old AF. But the rules that we have for these lists. Number one, the album had to be released in 2004. It does not matter if the album like hit its peak in popularity that year. Hoobastank's The Reason was in 2003. But some of you that are old like me remember The Reason was huge in 2004. The album came out in 2003. It counts for 2003.
Yeah.
We are excluding from the main list, but they can be mentioned in honorable mentions. So no EPs, demos, re-releases, or remasters, or live albums. Yeah, because
no
it's
greatest hits albums either.
yeah, no, yeah.
That was another
I don't even want to mention greatest hits albums like to begin with, or just compilation albums, anyways, because those seem like kind of a not like just cheap knockoffs, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I hit them all this time.
Think so.
Did I miss anything?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
I think that's it.
Okay. You want to start it off?
Yeah, sure. This will probably be the only one on my list that most people will not recognize because it is kind of a left field album, but I remember, and I didn't get into it in 2004. I got into it much later, but I have listened to this album since then, probably closer to like 2008-ish, 2009 maybe. I listened to it a lot. And yeah, I love it. It's definitely one of those albums that got me into some heavier stuff. And yeah, I had it on repeat for a while. I even burned it to a CD one time to play in my van because I didn't have an aux cord or anything, and I just had this shit in my van all the time. But it was released November 4th, 2004 by a band called Quo Vadis, Quovadis. And the album is called Defiant Imagination. It is super cool. Melodic death metal, Canadian, and just Canadian, eh? The opening track, Silence Calls the Storm, probably is my favorite on the record, but it is a really cool, just like each song kind of fits together one after the other. I don't know if it's a concept album. I never looked that heavy into it, but it does feel like it just flows really well from song to song and feel like just one big cohesive piece. And yeah, solid album. Check it out if you're into melodic death metal. It's super fun. The album artwork's really cool. And yeah, that's my number 10. Defiant Imagination by Quo Vadis.
Alrighty. Number 10. Released October 12th, 2004. Chuck by Sum 41. One of my favorite memories that I have of this album is I can't remember if it was the day that the album came out, but I remember I bought this album and then me and friends from work went to go see Team America in theaters. So an awesome album and an absolutely hilarious movie. I love this album because like Sum 41 was definitely very pop punk. Like when you think of Sum 41, you instantly think of like Fat Lip, In Too Deep, basically those two songs. This album was a lot heavier. Like for instance, The Bitter End reminds me of Battery. Like that's how heavy they get on this album.
Battery.
You know, yeah, The Bitter End. Like there is some slow stuff on the album, like Pieces, and I wouldn't even, and Slipping Away definitely. But No Reason is my favorite Sum 41 song. That song, like it is like Sum 41, just pop punkness and metal completely put together and like a perfect fusion. It's not like bitter end where it's super pop or super metal, and then or fat lip that's like 100% sing along pop punk. Like No Reason is like a perfect just culmination of that. A lot of people might remember We're All to Blame. That was the lead single. So right out of the gate, everyone's like, "Oh, this is a lot. This is a good bit heavier than their previous work." But yeah, it's just an awesome album. Check it out if you have not. Chuck by Sum 41, number 10.
Nice. Okay. So, my number 9, I can't remember if this is the album that people that generally like this band stopped liking them at, or if it was their next one in 2006. I can't remember, but I know one of these, it's either this one or the 2006 album, caused a lot of people that originally liked this band to not like them anymore and the direction that their sound was going. And I personally like all of the sounds that they've had over the years. They've been around for a very long time. And this album, my number 9, was released, in September 2004 on the 28th. It is by Cradle of Filth, Nymphetamine. I thought it was a great album. And again, I don't know if this was where things kind of like fell off for these guys, but I personally like the album quite a bit. I'm pretty sure it was nominated for a Grammy as well. And maybe that was the reason why the original people that liked Cradle of Filth stopped liking them, because obviously people that are into symphonic black metal usually are snobs and music nerds and shit that just have to gatekeep the shit for themselves. So getting any kind of popularity is generally a bad thing for a black metal band or a death metal band of any kind.
Yeah.
But I don't give a shit because I'm not an elitist. And I think it's a fun ass album. It's super cool. And of course, it's got Nemesis and Absinthe with Faust. And of course, we can't forget Gilded Cunt. Beautiful songs. Awesome fucking disc. Like, the album artwork's just classic Cradle of Filth looking shit. And
it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. But yeah, number 9, Nymphetamine by Cradle of Filth.
Man, yeah. Your number 9 makes my number... Yeah. All right, number 9.
I know I went from like heavy as shit to heavy as shit again. I promise
Yeah.
I'll get a little easier as we go, I promise.
Okay. Released October 5th, 2004. The Chronicles of Life and Death by Good Charlotte. So, yeah. I just... As some of you remember, I'm not going to say what position, but The Young and the Hopeless was ranked rather high in one of my previous lists. This album, it was good. It took a long time for this album to grow on me. Because I wasn't the biggest on Predictable when it came out as a single. I don't know, just did not do it for me. And originally back in the day, I thought this was going to be a double album. Like, there was going to be the Chronicles of Life, the Chronicles of Death, and then boom. And then somewhere along the lines, it was like, oh, psych, it's just going to be, one song is going to be, each album's going to have one different song on it, but then the rest is on there. So that was disappointing. But like I said, this album took forever to grow on me, but it finally did. So, SOS, Ghost of You, The World is Black, Mountain, all those songs I would highly recommend off of the album. I Just Want to Live, like, that song, I don't know. Like, it's one of those that, like, I don't really care for. I know every single word to it, and I'll sing along to it if it comes on the radio, you know. But, like, you know, they did get famous by bitching about the rich and the famous, and then so this album, now they're famous, and it's like, well, no, I just want to live now. It's like, no, you don't get to call them out on that bullshit and then just kind of be like, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why this album isn't held in as high of a standard as Young and the Hopeless is for me, because they just calling it what it is. They're hypocrites. I mean,
Yeah.
but to be fair, anybody would being put in this situation.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah.
Easily.
So, but yeah, number 9, The Chronicles of Life and Death by Good Charlotte.
I'd probably be a little bit more careful about writing songs about the rich and the famous, though, just on the off chance I got rich and famous.
Yeah, because if that's your springboard into being famous, then yeah,
What
you've
are you gonna
already,
do?
yeah, you have no real exit strategy.
Yeah, you already shot yourself right in the foot on that one.
Yeah, you shot yourself in the foot before you even cross the finish line.
Yeah. All right. What do we got here? Number 8 was released. Sorry, I lost it. Oh, there it is. May 11th, 2004, by a band called Dragon Force. And the album is, of course, Sonic Firestorm. It's a banger. What can I say? Above the Winter Moonlight is probably one of my favorite off of this album. But Soldiers of the Wasteland is probably my favorite Dragon Force song ever. Soldiers of the Wasteland was so cool. It's so fun, and I don't know why, but their longer ones always end up just hitting me harder. I don't know what it is, but it's got to be between Soldiers of the Wasteland and Cry for Eternity as my favorite Dragon Force songs. And yeah, dude, it's just a banger. Of course, it's another Dragon Force album. You can expect crazy drum solos and blast beats and fucking hectic technical drums and shit. And of course, guitar from 2 amazing guitarists that are just insanely talented, shredding
And
away
a lot
for
of
fucking yeah, lots of fucking power metal and crazy belting vocals and shit. It's a fucking Dragon Force album, so there's really not a whole lot to say. If you've heard Dragon Force, their first 4 albums anyway, you've heard their sound, basically. That's just kind of what they do best, and they kind of stick to it, which is cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is, but
yeah, they definitely don't get out of their comfort zone. They stay in their comfort zone, and in most circumstances, I would say they need to stay in there. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because it's awesome. I'll basic bitch it up. Fury of the Storm, especially on Warriors of Rock. Oh my god. So, Dragon Force is just awesome. But if I don't like saying this because it's going to sound negative, but if you've heard a Dragon Force album, you've probably heard them all. They never reinvent the wheel by any means.
And the thing is, I think with a band like Dragon Force, they can get away with it because they don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
If you've seen any interviews with them, if you've seen any behind the scenes footage of them or whatever, they're a bunch of fucking goofballs. They're extremely talented. They're extremely talented at what they do. Crazy talented. But dude, they just have fun with it, and they know they're just having fun with it. So reinventing the wheel is not relevant for them. And I don't say that about every band, of course. I do like to see bands changing stuff up from time to time. But yeah, Dragon Force, you just keep doing what you're doing. And I know ZP's not in the band anymore, unfortunately, but and I kind of fell off of Dragon Force after he left, to be honest with you, because I am not a huge fan of the new singer. He sounds great, but
yeah, he's
not
not bad. I can't remember what the song is, but it was off of. God, it would have came out around 2016, maybe. At the Edge of the World or Standing at the Edge of the World. It's like a 12, 13-minute song. Check that song out. That song absolutely freaking slaps. But other than that, yeah, their new stuff, even Matt from Trivium, was on The Game, I believe is what it was. And yeah, it's still just kind of, all right, whatever. But yeah, the ZP days were definitely better. Much better.
Definitely my personal preference when it comes to Dragon Force is their first 4 albums. And like we discussed, I think 2 episodes ago, I've got all 4 of those on CD.
Yeah.
I had all 4 of them. I had them in my CD player. I put them all on my iPod when I got one. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Sonic Firestorm, Dragon Force, number 8.
All right, just 1 second. I made a last-minute change.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're talking super duper last minute. I'm gonna get some crap for it, but I don't care because I did not get into this album in 2004. I will be blunt about that right now. I got into this album literally last year when I was on or no, 2 years ago when I was on COVID lockdown for a little bit.
Is it what I
So
think it is?
no,
Oh, okay.
there's only one person in this world that would know what it is, and she is downstairs with my son right now.
Okay.
Released June 7th, 2004. Hot Fuss by The Killers.
Oh, yeah, definitely not what I expected at all.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, no, yeah, no. Like this album's really good. Like, back in the day, Mr. Brightside got old. Like, let's just be completely honest about that.
Yeah, you're telling me. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
It was. It still is everywhere, it seems.
Yeah.
Motionless in White did a cover of it, and they played it live at the show that I went to see them. It was the first time I seen Motionless in White, and I've loved them forever, dude. I've loved them since their first album. And they played that fucking song live, and I'm like, oh my god, I cannot get away from it. And this was 2000. This was 2021, I think. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I think
recently. So. I'm like, dude, chill. Stop bringing this fucking song back, please.
I will say, like, when their first single was out, somebody told me. I do like that song. I have always liked that song. Like, it's like, what kind of chicks are you dating, dude? But,
Yeah.
it's an awesome banger. And then they put it in Rock Band 4, so it was even more fun being able to play it and stuff. But, yeah, Jenny was a friend of mine, the opener. Like, the bass in that is just, like every single time, like that bass is just popping and it's freaking awesome. Smile Like You Mean It, all these things I've done, Change Your Mind. This album like is really like, I don't think me in 2004 would have been like this shit ain't going on my top 10 list for 2004. Like the Mr. Brightside album, screw that. But upon listening to everything else, and I'm serious multiple times too, because I like this album kind of took me by surprise how much I liked it, and it grew a lot. So yeah, Hot Fuss by The Killers, number whatever we're on.
Oh, wait.
8.
Somebody told me actually it was the song I was thinking of, not Mr. Brightside. But
What?
yeah, both
What?
both of them too much. All the
No,
time.
somebody told me it was like big for a little bit, but then Mr. Brightside like was just
Mr. Brightside was way worse. Yes,
like
but
it was like this, like whole different level of just everywhere than somebody told me.
maybe it was just my friend group then, because I swear I heard somebody told me a ton, and I heard it at like parties and like fucking everywhere. So, but yeah, Motionless in White did a cover of that song, not Mr. Brightside. I was getting that mixed up, but
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like them doing a cover of Somebody Told Me sounds way more intriguing.
it's cool. It's a good cover. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's a good cover. I prefer Motionless in White doing it, to be honest with you, because
It's heavier.
no, I'm just not a huge fan of the Killers.
Either am I.
Like I don't like them at all. I
Like
can't,
no,
I
I
can't
was
stand
just,
them.
I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, like no, I like them okay because we did them for one of our top 10, so that's why I went through and listened to everything. They've got some bad stuff. They've got some real garbage stuff, but a lot of it really ain't that bad.
It's just I don't know. I think it's one of those things that I just don't personally understand the massive appeal that a lot of people have. But I mean, teach their own. Listen to whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But like, not my cup of tea. I don't ever go out of my way to listen to the Killers at all. Period.
Okay, so I just want to break these stats down because, all right, Mr. Brightside peaked at number 10 on the U.S. Hot 100. It is a certified diamond single. Diamond, that 10 million of it.
That doesn't surprise me.
These other numbers, I do not know what they mean. Or letters, I guess I should say. They're acronym. ARIA 18 times platinum, BPI 9 times platinum, BVMI 3 times platinum, RMNZ 8 times platinum. And then somebody told me it peaked at number 51 on the Hot 100. 3 times platinum with in the US, the area. That's just what I'm going to say. 6X, BPI, 2X, and then BVMI Gold. Mr. Brightside was like everywhere and then some compared to somebody told me. So your friends just must have sucked back in the day.
Yeah. Well, my friends still suck, but no, I'm just kidding. I love you guys, but no, I know Mr. Brightside was way worse when it comes to just its spread across the nation, across the globe. I get it, but I know I've heard somebody told me a lot. Anyway, doesn't matter. I overheard both of them. I still don't like either one of them, to be honest with you. Teach their own. Like if it's on, whatever, I'll listen to it. It's not something that's like making my ears bleed that I'm gonna switch like fucking Florida Georgia Line or some shit like that. It's something I will listen to if it's on. Like I don't care.
This is how we roll.
God damn it.
No, the only reason I'm saying that is because they've been playing Florida Georgia Line on Walmart radio 4 times a day for the last like 2 weeks. And yeah, I almost put my head through a monitor every single time I hear it.
When I was working at the Centerville Walmart and Cake by the Ocean was big. I know you've heard it because it's been on Walmart radio a million times.
What is it?
Cake by the Ocean by
Cake by the Ocean?
Yep.
It might get wet.
Cake. God damn it, Cake.
Nobody wants salty cake.
By Dance. DNCE Dance. One of the Jonas Brothers' new bands or whatever. Or, like, it was one of the Jonas Brothers split off and made a band, and that song was fucking huge. It was everywhere, but when I was working at the Centerville Walmart, I counted one day how many times they played that song because I heard it all the time. Every day, all day long. And I was just curious. They played Cake by the Ocean in one of my shifts 10 times.
Ah!
In one shift.
That's excessive.
Why? And it wasn't even a long shift. It was just a regular ass shift. Like, are you kidding me right now? I was so pissed. Could not get away from it. It was so bad.
Oh, I don't blame you. I would have been mad too. Like there's so much stuff that can be played.
Yeah.
Like
anything.
Jesus.
Fuck. Anything.
But
okay.
Yeah, think we're on to your number 7 now.
Number 7. And I know we went from heavy to also heavy to a little bit less heavy, considering there's not like really any screams or anything. It's mostly just power metal vocals. But now we're getting into some fucking radio rock. We went all the way down to the way less heavy shit now. Even though I think we're going to pick it up here in a second after this. But,
oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
This was released April 13th, 2004. 3 days before my birthday. And it is by a band of the same name as the album. Crossfade by Crossfade.
You want to guess what my number 8 was before I changed it to the Killers?
You fucker. This is so much better than whatever the fuck the Killers put now, dude.
Dude, no.
Here.
It's I moved it down to an honorable mention, but the more I was looking at it, I was like, man, no, I can't.
I still listen to Cold and Colors and No Giving Up, Starless. I still listen to all of those, like
So Far Away
all
and
the time.
Dead Skin. Yeah, those are my 2 jams off of the album.
But dude, Colors and Cold alone, just the singles, even though yes, they were completely overplayed for what this artist is anyway. I know they didn't they made like they didn't make a whole lot, I don't think, did they?
3 albums, and this was literally the biggest.
Oh yeah,
because of Cold. Yeah.
And they were bangers, dude. They were fucking fun. But yeah, sad they didn't continue on that momentum as much. But hey, I fucking love this album. I still crank it from time to time, and that's all I gotta say. That is my number 7, Crossfade by Crossfade.
Okay. Number 7.
I'm gonna be thoroughly surprised just before we go any further, I'm gonna be thoroughly surprised if my number 6, my number 3, my number 2, and my number 1 are not in your list. And so far, you're kind of making me worried because we're already on number 6.
I know 2 of them for sure.
2 of them for sure better be on your fucking list.
Actually, wait, no, hold on. I'm looking at this. I know 3 of them for sure. And yeah, don't worry, they're in there. Okay, number 7, released August 31st, 2004. It is
I know
Getting Away with what? Getting Away with Murder by Papa Roach?
Yeah. I was going to say it because that's what I was going to fucking say next.
Oh,
that's my next one.
That's your number 5 or 6 or whatever?
Yep.
Oh. But yeah, no, this album was really good. I still will say I like Love, Hate, Tragedy. It's my favorite Papa Roach album. I know it was ranked rather low, but I think that's just a testament to how good the year is with the, Sad Scars on it. Like, I get it. It was everywhere. It was a big old radio hit.
So was Getting Away with Murder.
Not as big. Like,
it was big. It was pretty fucking big.
Like, Getting Away with Murder was big on rock radio, but like Scars was big on like all
everything
radio. Yeah. One thing that was awesome. So I saw these guys. It was November 8th, 2004, and they were with Trust Company, and just an absolutely amazing show. It was a small little bar that it was in, so like we were just right up in it. And this is like right when like Scars was getting ready to come out as a single, or maybe it'd been out for a couple weeks, so it's before it like took off, and just a lot of energy. Jacoby will not share pizza with anyone. Yeah, but I'll let you go ahead and finish it off.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I already had it pulled up because it was my next one, so I figured I would. Right when he said the date, I was like, it's got to be this one.
Yeah, I was very shocked. Like, I was like, what the hell? What?
Yeah, no, I definitely had this one as my where are we at, number 5? No, number 6. My number 6 is also Papa Roach, Getting Away with Murder. It was in a couple. They had a couple movie soundtrack songs in this, didn't they? Blood, Empty Promises was featured in the Saw 2 soundtrack. Getting Away with Murder was featured at the end credits of The Chronicles of Riddick, as well as the video games Mech Assault 2, Lone Wolf, and MX vs. ATV Unleashed. Not Listening was used in the trailer of Resident Evil Apocalypse, and is also featured in video games NASCAR 2005, Gran Turismo 4, and Flat Out 2. Interesting. Some weird games to have Papa Roach songs in, but
yeah, I was gonna say like all those are games I don't play.
Yeah, same.
So
I'm honestly surprised they weren't in any like Tony Hawk games,
or like Madden or something.
Yeah,
like maybe they are in a Madden somewhere, and that's what I'm thinking about.
Not from this list anyway, or at least not this album. At least they're not listed on here, but yeah, no, dude, I love this album. It's a banger, and I still listen to it. I still listen to it to this day. I don't know if I like it more than Love, Hate, Tragedy, or I don't know if I love Hate, Tragedy more though. Let me see what was on here.
She Loves Me Not, Born with Nothing, Die with Everything, M80, Life is a Bullet.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely like Getting Away with Murder more, I think.
Dude, okay, so this is kind of a random note, but the producer for this album, Howard Benson, I just want to give you some of the albums that he's produced. Okay. Satellite by POD. What else do we got? Unstable by Edema. Year of the Spider by Cold. The Reason by Hoobastank.
God damn.
He did unfortunately produce Payable on Death by POD, which we all know my thoughts on that. If you don't, you should check out the previous videos and find out. What else is there? Gasoline by Theory of a Dead Man. 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge by My Chemical Romance. 1X by 3 Days Grace. Like
Nice.
Howard Benson, he's got some work. He's got some good work under his belt.
Hell yeah, he
Finding
does.
Beauty in Negative Spaces by Seether. Full Circle by Creed. Need I frickin' say more? All right.
He's got a Creed album under his belt.
Yeah, man
God
produced
damn.
Creed.
That's wild shit right there.
But yeah, I guess collectively, my number 7 and Jacob's number 6. Papa Roach Getting Away with Murder.
That means go ahead and just do your number 6, I guess, then.
Okay, number 6. Released September 21st, 2004. American Idiot by Green Day. People can hate all they want. This album is awesome. I actually find myself, over the course of the last few years, going back and listening to this album more. I mean, everybody knows Boulevard of Broken Dreams. That was like a number 1 hit. Holiday was a freaking banger. Wake Me Up When September Ends had a very cinematic music video. But then, Jesus of Suburbia. Like, that song is just, it's so much fun, and it's just awesome. Like, doesn't matter if I'm listening to it or playing it on Rock Band or whatever. It's just a very fun one to play. And then I still think my personal favorite off of the album is What's Her Name? Because, I don't know, that song's just always hit. Like, just, yeah. But yeah, this album was freaking huge. Like,
Yeah,
it was,
was.
it was everywhere. I mean, it had its own musical and shit. Like,
Derek, it's kind of weird that we've said that these songs were everywhere when they came out, and I can't really say that about shit that's been coming out recently, unfortunately. It's kind of wild, right? We've had so many in a row that we've been like, yeah, this song was everywhere. These songs were everywhere. This song was in 50 video games, blah, blah, blah. But
yeah,
can we say that about last year's releases? Hell
No.
no, we can't.
yeah, like, now I'm depressed again.
It's just rotten,
Number
man.
6, number 6, Green Day, American Idiot.
It's just a rotten time. We need to
Yeah,
get
it
back to
is.
these fucking big hits again, because I want to hear them. But all right, number 5. My number 5 was released May 17th, 2004, and it is Iron by Insafirum. This album by Insafirum constantly goes back and forth between victory songs for me as my favorite, which it was not released until 2007, but I always go back and forth between the two of these, and they're both bangers. This one is a banger. Lie Lie Hey, Into Battle, Sword Chant, the self-titled song, Iron, is fucking amazing. They did a cover of Battery by Metallica that they released on this, like a fucking
Course.
heavier, more like folk death metal version of Battery. It sounds fucking awesome. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's really good. But yeah, good stuff. If you like Viking metal, any kind of nerdy fucking Viking and folk metal kind of shit, you'll definitely like this stuff. And Saphirum's they're just a fun band, dude. They've got a lot of really cool stuff. And honestly, even the stuff that they're putting out now, personally, is not, in my opinion, as good as their older stuff, but it's still fun. It's still the same in Saphirum. They've changed things up a little bit. Production value's gone up a little bit, of course. But other than that, they're still doing some really cool shit, and they got some really good stuff coming out. I remember last year when I was delivering towards the end of the year, and this happens to me usually in the fall or early winter. I get in these moods where I just want to listen to a bunch of folk metal or Viking metal or something like that. And I was delivering for Amazon. I had like a couple of pretty long shifts in a row, and I was like just on repeat. I had the whole Ensifirum discography like back to back to back to back, and finally got a chance to listen to some of their newer stuff that they'd been putting out that I've been neglecting. But it's fun. It's melodic. It's heavy. It's fun. It's got some power metal influences in there. Yeah, good shit. Iron by Insafirum. Number 5.
All right. This is where we'll start getting controversial.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Controversy.
Oh.
Released August 31st, 2004.
No fucking way.
Ashes of the Wake by Lamb of God.
Derek.
Oh, is that yours too?
I have it pulled up already. It is my next one, yes.
Oh, let me go ahead and get yours typed in real quick then.
The second you said the date, I'm like, no fucking way, dude. I just spilled like a bunch of gems that I had sitting on my desk.
Gems and rubies.
Yeah, like literally gemstones and shit. I have this little metal box full of gems.
And rubies.
Rubies.
Okay, so yeah, this album.
Damn it.
I did not fully
Actually,
really get into this album until I believe it was summer of 2007.
Okay.
But because I'll be honest, I never liked playing Laid to Rest on Guitar Hero 2 because it's a rougher song. Like let's be honest about that. Now I can go back and play it no problems, but
Yeah.
back in the day, I don't know, it just wasn't hitting. And then some of the songs that are in those games, they don't sound the greatest because the cover band does not sound good at all.
Right.
Which definitely was also another factor for Laid to Rest. But I mean, now you've got something to die for. The faded line, Omerta, break you.
You've got something to die for. Dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
That song lifted me off of the ground involuntarily 2 times live within the span of 2 weeks.
Oh, dude.
Because I seen them at Knotfest and Metal Fest of the Year the same month.
You mean Line Fest? Let's get it right.
Oh yeah, Line Fest 2021.
Yeah, you should check our Slipknot video out where we talk a little bit about that.
Dude, we could probably do a whole episode on Line Fest, to be honest.
Oh my, I wouldn't want it to be like our normal setup. Like we would have to film it like an actual documentary and make it very dramatic.
Do talking head bits and shit.
Yeah, just sitting down interviews, and then we waited in another line for 2.5 hours.
We could, dude. We know several people that went to. We could get testimonial head, talking head videos and shit.
Oh, dude, so bad. But the bands were great. I'm not talking about Line Fest anymore. But yeah, no, this album was one of I know I credit Spineshank's Self-Destructive Pattern for really getting me into heavier stuff. This if Spineshank opened the door, this album and one other released in 2006, so you'll have to wait and find out about that. It just completely kicked the door off the fucking hinges and everything. Then it was, yeah. So I feel bad putting it at 5, but the other 4 that I have on my list, they're not moving anywhere.
Same.
So
that's why I don't feel bad about putting it at 5 because, or wait, is mine 4? Yeah, mine's
yours
4.
is 4.
Usually you start, so my numbers are all fucked up in my head, but yeah, no, I don't feel bad about its placement here because the ones that I have in front of this are worthy of being there. And I think you'll agree, as a matter of fact, because you still have not named the 3 that I'm most worried about. Now, where their placements are, I don't know. That's probably going to vary a little bit, considering when you got into a certain one of them.
Yeah.
And also considering how much I listen to one of them as opposed to one of the other ones that I know you listen to more than I do.
Dude, now I'm worried because I know I got 2 of them for sure. I don't know if I've got 3, so I'm concerned.
No, there are 3 that you have to have.
Yeah, I think there's 4 that, in my opinion, I have to have, and they're on here.
The other one that I was talking about earlier was Papa Roach, because I knew you were gonna have Papa Roach somewhere on your thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, he's definitely got Papa Roach on there somewhere, and obviously you had Papa Roach, but yeah, no, these next 3, dude.
Okay,
Oh,
so
shit. Now you got me fucking worried.
all right. Okay, so since we did your number 4,
Yeah, my number
and
4 was
number
also
yeah,
Lamb of God.
number 4. Number 4 released May 25th, 2004.
Okay.
Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses by Slipknot.
Okay, interesting.
Um,
Okay.
Sounds bad. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about this album because I know it's still coming up in your list.
Yeah.
We've already talked about it in our Slipknot video, which I've already told you to check out once. So now I'm ordering you to check it out.
Double down. You have to check it
Yeah.
out. You have to.
Vermilion Part 2.
Yeah.
Freaking Pulse of the Maggots, Before I Forget. I mean,
As a matter of fact, we did a album versus with this album as well.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Volume 3 versus Iowa.
That was fun.
God, we're just plugging all the past videos right now. Check that one out too.
Also, we just talk about Slipknot a lot apparently.
Yeah, god damn. But no, this album's just a banger. Like,
Yeah.
if we're gonna put it in our own album versus stuff, yeah, we obviously love this album.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Number 4, Volume 3 by Slipknot.
Okay. Number 3
Getting real dicey here.
was released on the 29th of June in 2004.
I know what it is.
We Are Not Alone by Breaking Benjamin. It's a banger. What can I say? It's so fucking good. So Cold is still to this day one of my favorite Breaking Benjamin songs of all time. I love it. It's just such a fucking cool, creepy ass atmosphere that I don't know. They just did it really well, and I love it. But also they've got Rain and Sooner or Later and Break My Fall. You know, there's the whole album is just really good. To be honest with you, I like the whole thing quite a bit. So yeah, I'm also not going to talk too much about this one because I'm almost certain it's in your list, and if it's not, I'd be honestly kind of terrified because I think you have this exact tattoo on your finger as the man in the album artwork. So if it doesn't pop up in your fucking list, I'm going to be terrified, and you also probably have way more to say about it than I do, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave that there.
Quit spoiling shit.
We are not alone by Breaking Benjamin, number 3.
Okay, so my number 3.
You've already shown your tattoo on multiple episodes. We already know.
Yes. My number 3 is more than likely your number 1. Released May 11th, 2004. It is The End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been on a ridiculous Killswitch kick this entire year so far.
As you should be.
Yeah, I'm just Rose of Sharon is like perfect. It is literally a perfect song to me. That's all the more I'm going to talk about this album. So, number 3, The End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage.
Man, I wonder what our fucking number 1s are.
Yeah, Jesus. We haven't revealed anything yet.
No, nothing whatsoever. Okay, number 2 was released May 25th, 2004. Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses by Slipknot. God damn, it's such a good album, dude. I mean, we've already talked about this a couple times. Everyone knows Left Behind is my favorite Slipknot song of all time, but Circle actually gets pretty close to that number 1 spot for me as far as Slipknot goes. Circle is one of my favorite Slipknot songs of all time. Easy in my top 5 for sure. And of course, yeah, of course, as Derek said, fucking Vermilion Part 2. But fucking Before I Forget, Pulse and Maggots, Duality. I mean, there's just some damn good songs on this album all around. So, and this, I guarantee you, was the album that really sprung a lot of people into listening to Slipknot, to be honest with you. Probably way more than their self-titled and Iowa, even though both of those I'm pretty sure were pretty successful. albums, I think this is the one that really started to get people into Slipknot and looking into their catalog a little bit more.
Yeah, I can definitely
But
tell you people that like growing up, people like I listened to it not like as much as I do now, but people that I knew in 100 years would never listen to Slipknot, they got into Slipknot just purely because of Duality and Before I Forget.
yeah, had this album released uh, before Iowa, I probably would have gotten into Slipknot faster.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
but I did have Iowa, and I was listening to Iowa well before I was listening to Subliminal Verses. So again, if you want to know that story, go watch our Slipknot videos. I'm pretty sure I talk about it in both. But yeah, my whole Iowa story with my dad owning it and not realizing what it was and all that jazz. But yeah, good stuff. Volume 3, Subliminal Verses, Slipknot, my number 2.
Okay. My number two was released March 23rd, 2004, by a band that unfortunately time has seemingly forgot. It's Redefine by Soil.
Okay, interesting.
Now, Pride, since we were talking about video game music earlier, Pride from Soil was released on Madden 2004, which of course comes out in 2003. So we had Pride a long time before we had the album. And yeah, Madden 2004 was one of the best Maddens. Like '04, '05, and '06, just perfect. Those are actually after '06 is when I fell off of Madden. But the like Redefine, just the title track from the album, Redefine, amazing. Can you heal me? Cross my heart. Suffering. Remember. Obsession. Say you will. Something real. This whole album, top to bottom, is an amazing album. And it sucks that more people have just never heard of it. Uh, yeah, that's all I got. It's just a sad tale because this album's so good. Redefined by Soil, number two.
Yeah, I never got too heavy into Soil, but I know I like a few of their
Oh,
songs quite a bit. But
oh, those first two albums, Scars and Redefined, they're so freaking good.
I
It's
just,
it's criminal that people don't listen to them more.
I mean, I like them. It's not that I dislike them. It's just not, they're not a band that I ever like got super heavy into. But yeah, cool. I'm surprised that your number 2 wasn't Subliminal Verses as well. But
Dude, I'm serious. Soil just hit it for me right out of the gate. Like, because I remember hearing Halo in 2002, and yeah, it was game over from there because it wasn't like it wasn't screaming. It was like good hard rock or hard like I metal, whatever. But so that was kind of easier to transition into than it was like Slipknot. Like, because let's be honest, they're aggressive, but
they are pretty
yeah,
aggressive.
yeah. Like I want to slit your throat and fuck the wound. Like yeah, like
Yeah.
so you won't find any of that on a Soil album, and that's a good thing. So
But you will find
yeah,
it on a Slipknot album, and that is also a good thing.
100%. Okay, so let's go ahead and list off some honorable mentions real quick.
Okay.
I'll let you go first
I
because once again I've got just a stupid amount of honorable mentions.
So these I kind of just rapid fired when I was making my list. So correct me if I'm wrong about any of these on the release dates.
Okay.
If you know, I mean, you might not. It is what it is. But a couple of them are kind of out there, to be honest with you. But I'll go ahead and get the disclaimer too by Seether out of the way because I know it's probably on yours.
Yep, 100%.
Encore by Eminem.
Yep.
American Idiot by Green Day.
Nice.
Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge by My Chemical Romance. I had Collision Course by Linkin Park and Jay-Z.
Yep.
The War Within by Shadows Fall, which almost made it to my list, but then I remembered that Nymphetamine released in 2004, so I had to switch it out. And the one that let me just double check it real quick because I don't know off the top of my head, but pretty sure, and this is a movie soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
It was released November 9th, 2004, and I know it's got a couple of songs that are like from other bands and stuff that were released in various years, which is why I put it in as an honorable mention and not on a list. But it was released November 9th, 2004, the soundtrack was, and it is the soundtrack for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. It is a fucking banger through and through.
Goofy Gooba.
Every track is a fucking banger, and if you're not singing along to that goddamn movie, you're doing it wrong. I need you to go watch the movie and sing along to those fucking songs, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and get back to us, and you can thank us later.
Yeah, for real. It's such... Dude, it's a banger. It's a banger. The whole movie's fun. Soundtrack's great. I love it. It's good stuff. But, yeah, those are my honorable mentions. I didn't have a whole lot this time.
All right. So, honorable mentions. Once again, I've got a bunch. So, some of the ones that we've already thrown out real quick. Dragon Force, Sonic Firestorm. Disclaimer 2 by Seether. 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, My Chemical Romance. Encore by Eminem. Collision Course by Jay-Z and Linkin Park. Because, holy hell, never would have thought that would work, but, I mean, god damn, that was so just good. Awesome. Yeah, it was great.
So fucking good.
And then Crossfade, which we have already mentioned. This one, Separate the Art from the Artist. Oh, God. Start Something by the Lost Prophets.
Okay, I don't know anything about them, so
I'll fill you in after. It's not good.
Oh,
good. Sugar Cult, Palm Trees and Power Lines. Orgy, Punk Static Paranoia. Godsmack, The Other Side, the EP. Because, I mean, God, Running Blind is amazing. Usher, Confessions.
Word.
Oh, dude, I was looking at it when I was making my list. 2004 was the year of Usher. Like, did you know 28 weeks out of the 52-week year, he had a single that was #1 in the U.S. 28 weeks. Over half of the year, this man was on top.
That doesn't surprise me. Does not surprise me at all, to be honest with you. He was fucking huge.
And for good reason. This album was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Drowning Pool, Desensitized. Thornley, Come Again. Newfound Glory, Catalyst. Avril Lavigne, Under My Skin. Velvet Revolver, Contraband. Atreyu, The Curse. Adam Sandler, Shh, Don't Tell. Listen to the song Secret, You Can Thank Me Later. Alter Bridge, One Day Remains. Rise Against, Siren Song of the Counterculture. 12 Stones, Potter's Field. Bowling for Soup, A Hangover You Don't Deserve, which had 1985 on it. Megadeth, The System Has Failed. Chevelle, This Type of Thinking. The Used, In Love and Death. Simple Plan, Still Not Getting Any. A Perfect Circle, Emotive. The Exies, Head for the Door. And then We Are Not Alone by Breaking Benjamin. And those are my honorable mentions.
What did you just say? You are fucking with me right now.
Psych!
Oh
We Are
my
Not
God.
Alone, #1.
Oh man, my heart about gave out. I was like, no fucking way you're serious about that.
No, I could tell you were spacing out for a second too, because I I turned my head and I was just staring at you. I was like, where's the reaction? Where's the reaction?
When you mentioned Rise Against, I was like, holy fuck, they did release an album in 2004. But then I had to go make sure it wasn't the album I was thinking it was. So I was looking at the song lists, or the song list of that album. I was like, okay, no, it's not. And then you said that, and it's like, register. Wait a minute. What the fuck did you just say?
That was too perfect.
Oh man,
yeah, I was like, you're gonna have when you rewatch this, you're gonna have to watch it back and just see me like pausing and waiting for you to like, what the fuck,
dude?
what?
I had to double check that album. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the album I'm thinking of, is it? Because if it was the album I was thinking of, then it definitely would have made my list. That's why I was like, hold up, did I seriously miss that? But it wasn't. It wasn't.
So should I go ahead and tell everybody that like legit our number 3s on each of our lists was #1 on
Yeah.
the other person's list.
Yeah, my number one is Kill Switch, by the way. And
Yeah,
Heartache.
so that's just funny that we swapped like that, because even if we were going to try and bring this thing to a tie, we are still completely deadlocked.
Yeah.
Because that's how good 2004 is, though. Like,
And it still gets better from here for a little while.
oh God, yeah, it does. So we'll talk about this for a little bit. A good bit of the songs on this album were written with Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins. So like Forget It and Follow, he helped write those songs. There was two bonus tracks, Ladybug, which was featured on the So Cold EP, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
And then Ordinary Man was just on the Japanese bonus track, or it is on the Japanese version as a bonus track. Which, one thing that's awesome about the Japanese version, instead of the black and blue, it's black and red. So it looks awesome. But yeah, So Cold, like it spent, I believe it was like 37 or 38 weeks in the top like 10 or top 40 like mainstream rock songs instead of record. But yeah, Breakdown, Away is my personal favorite Breaking Benjamin song. Break My Fall, Sooner or Later. Oddly enough, I will say, this album does have like my most hated Breaking Benjamin song on it. Do you want to guess what it is?
Most hated Breaking Benjamin song.
Yes, most like my least favorite Breaking Benjamin song. Like I could do a whole list of every single like actual studio recording that Breaking Benjamin has ever done. And my favorite is on this album, and my least favorite out of all their work is on this album as well.
Is it more than one word?
I will not give hints.
I don't know. No. I don't know off the top.
You gotta guess one. You gotta guess one. Guess it. Do it. I know you're wanting to say one in particular.
Sooner or Later?
No. What?
No. I thought you were gonna
Sooner or Later was good.
I know. I thought you were gonna hit me with like a curveball or some shit. So I was just going with like a left field one. But
No, I legit thought you were gonna say Rain.
Is it Rain?
No, it's not Rain.
Oh,
but
that was my next one. But
yeah, while Rain ain't very high up on that list, it's no, it's actually Firefly. I can't stand that song. Like,
really?
So when I see that it was in SmackDown versus Raw and Day of Reckoning on GameCube, I'm like, how? Use Breakdown. Like, there anything.
Yeah.
Like, the song Firefly just pisses me off to no end, and I don't know why. I've never liked it ever since my LimeWire days. No, that song never did it for me. But the rest of the album, even like Rain, I would say is like an 8 out of 10. The rest of the album, 10s across the board. So freaking good. And yeah, if you haven't checked this album out, you really, really are missing out.
Oh, for sure.
Last fun fact, I saw them in March of 2005 when they were touring with Theory of a Deadman and the Xyz. I still have my tour shirt from 2005, and it's the album cover, We Are Not Alone. And that shirt has been with me everywhere. It was senior pictures, graduation. I was wearing it underneath my stuff at my wedding. I was wearing it the day my son was born. So that's how important this album is to me. But yeah. Number 1, We Are Not Alone by Breaking Benjamin.
I seen Breaking Benjamin, I don't remember what year, but they were touring with Nickelback and Sick Puppies. I don't know. I want to say it was the Dark Horse cycle, I think. So whatever album that would have been, but
I know in 2009 they I've got a shirt from a buddy that he got at a show.
I would have been 16. I would have been 16 because it was for my 16th birthday.
Would that have been
2009? Sounds right.
Okay, yeah, because I know they were touring with Sick Puppies, but I couldn't remember if they toured with Nickelback or not.
Sick Puppies and Nickelback.
Which, yeah, Sick Puppies were good live. I saw them with Hurt a long time ago.
First and only time I've seen any of them, unfortunately, but No,
Yeah, I think I saw him in 2010, maybe 2011. I can't remember.
I have a tour shirt. I just don't know where the fuck it's at. But
Yeah, I would say I wanted to wear the Breaking Benjamin shirt for this, but then it's like, no, that'd be way too freaking obvious if I did that.
yeah, that's good stuff. It was a good show. Lots of fucking pyro. Oh my god, dude. Nickelback uses a lot of pyro. But my number one, as we already discussed a little bit, is The End of Heartache by Killswitch Engaged. Everyone already knows my take on Killswitch, especially the Howard era of Killswitch. It is just phenomenal. I mean, Killswitch, specifically the Howard era of Killswitch, is easily one of my favorite bands of all time. Probably in my top 5. Probably in my top 5. Definitely in my top 10. And this album definitely kickstarted it all for me as far as Killswitch goes. And as we already talked about, Rose of Sharon, amazing. The End of Heartache, fucking amazing. And World Ablaze is another one I listen to a lot.
This world ablaze.
It's just so damn good. Now, I do have a funny story about this album. Back when I was still pirating music a lot, because I needed to burn them onto CDs, because I didn't have an aux cord to listen to them in my car, many moons ago, I got this album, and I got specifically a song, or specifically a version of The End of Heartache, that had somebody saying... I can never make out what it is that he's saying, but there's some random dude in the background during one of the drops in the middle of this song, and he says either scooter, cooter, or pooter. I don't know what the fuck he says, but there's just some random dude in the mix somehow. Like somebody had altered the mix of this song and put it up on whatever website I was getting him from. And like the guitars just drop and whatnot, and the music's still playing, but it just out of nowhere goes scooter, just clear as day. Other than that first fucking sound, I can't tell if it's a pooter, cooter, or scooter. But one way or another, the ooter is
either
there.
way.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I was telling Toby about this, and he's like, dude, I would pay to hear that. So I went back to my old ass CD case that collected fucking dust. And I went through and I have this song, that specific recording of it, on several of my CDs. And I'm talking one of those big CD cases, those big flat ones.
Yeah.
I went back through and I think I listened to probably 7 or 8 CDs to try to find that fucking version of this song. And I finally found it, and I was able to show it to Toby. So I have proof that it existed, and it was a thing that I was listening to unironically in my fucking car for years.
Well, now I want to hear it.
Fuck. Now I gotta find it again.
You should have wrote on it. Pooter, scooter, cooter. So that way you would have known which album it is.
If any of those CDs still work, I will try to find it again and I'll send it to you.
Find it.
Even if they still work, I don't know, because they've seen better days. Trust me, they're rough.
Oh yeah, some of mine are. Yeah, they've long since died.
And I'm pretty sure that fucking CD case got sun bleached last summer. Like, it was sitting in the back of my Cadillac and like on the back window or whatever, sun baking it. Oh
yeah.
So, yeah, if they end up fucking working, I'll try to find it for you. But yeah, End of Heartache, Killswitch Engaged. If you haven't heard it, what are you doing with your life? Go listen to it, for fuck's sake. That is number one.
Since we still have people watching, obviously, number 3, or no, sorry, in 2003, we had the exact same number 1. And then in 2004, we more or less have a tie for like a collective number 1. That's how good the music was back then. Like
there was a lot of just stuff that was everywhere all the time, and that just shows you how much people were loving it back then. It's great. And still, I mean, like Derek and I have been talking about, we still listen to this shit today.
Oh yeah, like there are some things on this like on either my list or my honorable mention that it's been maybe a couple years at the absolute most since I've listened to it. But most of this stuff, seriously, within the last month, and not even in any kind of preparation for this video, I still listen to most of this like very regularly.
Oh
Like
yeah.
100%. Like
And
so good.
at least for me, we haven't even gotten to some of the stuff that I listen to even more now. Like,
Yeah.
there's some stuff that we'll be getting to in the next couple of years that I mean, I listen to all this stuff still too, but there's some stuff a little bit further in the future that I listen to even more in my current state, you know. So
I
it's just
and
crazy, man.
I'm not gonna say this as a like, oh, you gotta wait until this video, even though it's gonna really sound like that. 2005 was legit for me the hardest year for a clear-cut number one because throughout the years, I think in my top seven of 2005, they were number one at one point in time, and it's it's getting harder. It's
Yeah. I know
and
once
it's
I
not,
get to 2007 or so, I'm going to be struggling pretty fucking hard.
yeah. I'm glad I already had it done, so now I just need to go back and make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This was the
2004, great year.
this was the last year that I had finished. So I still have to go through and do my next few years.
You better get on it.
Yeah, this is the last one that I had like already done from a while ago. So I'm gonna go back through probably tomorrow, and get 5 more of them done, give or take.
Yeah.
Maybe get up to 2010 or something.
Yeah, I know I stopped at 2009 and then I basically have just been fine tuning these and tweaking them and making sure that they're perfect and to my liking.
Right.
But yeah, that
Wait.
does it.
I lied.
Oh.
I have 2005
Oh, no.
done.
Oh, okay. Well, you better stay ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get through 2009 done. 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
9.
2004 is in the books. What did you guys think? Who was right? Who's number one? Kill Switch or Breaking Benjamin?
We got to
We
tie
need
it,
tie.
guys, because we had
Yeah.
the same number 1s and 3s. They switched. So
Yeah,
those are obviously the albums to look at. What are they?
We need you to tell us who wins in that tiebreaker, Breaking Benjamin or Kill Switch, and then we will talk about it.
Those specific albums.
Yeah, not
Okay.
just bands.
Yeah,
Not
they
yeah.
gotta be that specific album.
Those two albums, which is the better of the two? And yeah, let us know. Like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff.
Do it.
And huh?
Oh, I just said do it.
Huh? Okay. Jacob, what are we going to talk about next week?
We're gonna be talking about extraterrestrials.
And not the cute kind.
And I don't mean the phone home kind. I'm talking aliens. The ones that fought Predator that one time.
Well, technically twice, but
Yeah.
don't want to talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be discussing the Alien franchise, and I don't know if you'll be able to. I mean, I can do a ranking of them very, very easily. Like I know I've already got that in my head somewhere. Or we could just talk about the franchises or the movies within the franchise, I should say.
I, upon watching them, can probably give a less biased answer because I will be watching them pretty fresh for the most part. Because I know there's a couple of them I haven't seen, and then the ones that I have seen, it's been years, like years and years. Like I don't have a general opinion of them, so we could do a ranking. I can have like a little bit less bias of a ranking than you will because you've kind of been watching them for fucking ever. So
Yeah.
that could be interesting. We could do like a little ranking at the end. Maybe not the whole video, just like at the end we just
Yeah,
kinda
just
say which ones we like
kinda-
most and worst.
kind of like the Slipknot video that keeps getting brought up multiple times throughout this video. We'll just talk about them all and then just a quick fire them off for a ranking at the end.
Yeah, and then the next several movie videos that we do will reference that video over and over and over again about the alien ranking.
Hopefully so. Been referencing Slipknot a lot tonight.
I know,
They need
we-
to start paying.
We need to
paying
put
us.
some more fucking we need to put some more Trivium content out so we can start talking about that.
Yeah. Oh, That'll be coming soon. Don't
Yeah.
you worry.
Oh, it will be. It will be. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me. Make
Yep,
sure
same
you,
here.
like Derek already said, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell us in the comments who won Breaking Benjamin or Killswitch Engage with their 2004 album. And we'll see you next week when we talk about the Alien franchise.
Goodbye.